Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Mardek, and we're back in the Sandflow Caves. Like I said, this is a very long area, but we are getting close to finishing it up. We did pick up the Dreamstone last time, and we did technically see the last area in here, the way that we go through into the next section. But, as of right now, we still have plenty of chests in this area of the Sandflow Caves here, and I think there might be one other area as well, where we might have unlocked one of those doors and gotten the chance to get some additional loot. Just haven't gone around to the actual chest yet. So, do we have some balloon juice with the numbness removal? That is typically pretty hard to get, so that's useful to have that. Okay, just an antline here. Fortunately, opts to attack Slinick, and he is tankiest, right around there with Mardek. Actually, has surpassed Mardek in terms of HP. We were talking about how long-term Slinick is technically going to be the highest HP character, all else equal, and it has finally come to pass. So, that being said, no, let's not heal the antline, let's attack it. Deal some solid damage to it. And I was about to use a physical attack. No, don't do that. That would be a bad idea. It will turn around and potentially one-shot Donovan. Let's not test that theory. Slinick, however, yes, you should be able to take it out here. Okay, great. And down here, we have several more chests, including a bit of a hidden one here. If we look back at the map, we see that, based on how there is that glowing speck right there next to us, this right here is technically a chest, and it is a plot item. Sand fruit. A type of fruit that grows on the trees in the Sandflow Caves. It takes years for a single fruit to ripen, and they only stay ripe for a few days, during which time they glow with a pleasant pink aura. So good thing we managed to pick it up here. Gotta pay close attention to pick that one up, so all the more reason to be keeping a close eye on your map. This also is giving me battle vibes. No? Moonstone Ring, we have plenty of those. We picked several up in Chapter 2. But they are fairly strong, so no problem. We'll take more. Here we have a silver circlet. I don't believe we've seen any of these yet. Let's take a closer look here. We'll see that Donovan and Charlotte are currently using bronze circlets. However, silver circlet that we just picked up is basically a better version. The bronze ones, 1 defense, 1 magic defense. Silver ones, 2 and 2, so better. A sort of small, thin crown set with a sapphire gem and made of silver. They're often worn by mages who can't wear full helmets. They also give magic defense for their reaction, which I'd have to double check what Donovan's working on right now. It's at minus 20%. He does not currently have minus 10%, so that might be a good addition as well. Is he done with this? He is. Ooh, so that's tempting. In fact, this is also something that, because anyone can wear this type of helmet, Mardek could use it, Slinick could use it, so even the non-spellcasters could make use of it. So who has more room on the match defensive reaction side of things? We'd have to double check. Oh, does it have something else as well? It also has 30 MP. Not bad at all. Above and beyond the typical 15 that you would get from the bronze circlet. So again, it is basically double everything that you would have on the bronze circlet, including a new skill. So if we look at Donovan here, can he? Yes, he can equip this new reaction. Nice, that's very useful. Only takes 10 to master it, so, I mean, he only has 8 and 9 for these ones here, but I would like to believe that he's going to master this quickly, so that way we can pass it on over to basically everyone else. Did Mardek get it, though, from Vern's armor? It looks like he might have. Okay, so in that case, we could theoretically use Vern's armor on Mardek and Slinick and any other character who's capable of equipping the heavier armor. So in that case, it's mostly Charlotte and Donovan who are going to want that. Okay. So, are there other chests in this area here? Well, we're going to have to wait. Fire opals and topazes, though, shouldn't prove to be much of an issue here. And again, I'm telling you, the topazes, every once in a while, they are turning red. It is not just me. I swear, I'm not going crazy. And there's proof, right? They're giving us topazes, not fire opals. Okay, one more chest here, it seems. This time in Ether, we were using one of those previously, I think. in order to give Mardek some HP back. And that is the last chest in this area. However, if we look over at where this connects, there's a chance we've not been to that area of the Sandflow Caves, and that might allow us to pick up some additional loot. We'll take a closer look. I think it might be connecting to possibly even the first area in the Sandflow Caves, just from a different angle. A sub-area that we were not able to go to before. So let's lightning bolt the blood lizards. Seen plenty of these guys before. And apparently they will miss as well, so no issue. And there is a magic defensive reaction there on Donovan. So in some ways, helpful. And for these guys, we want to go for the physical attacks. We've removed the Soul Strike, so we can just go ahead and hit the reaction. As for Slindic, you also probably want to use a physical attack because you are working on an offensive reaction. So we'll take one out. Mardek, same deal. I think, actually, oh, come to think of it, I think he did master his. So, do we have reason to use something else on Mardek? I don't think so. Let's just take out this Blood Lizard instead. And for Charla, you actually also need an offensive reaction, so we'll try to take you out here. Nice. Enough damage to make it happen. I'm not sure I realized these guys can give fire opals as well, but there you go, the more the merrier. And there are both of Slinic's offensive reactions, so that is fantastic. I'm not sure that he necessarily has a new axe that we would swap over to, because I do think this is currently his best one. But at least that gives us the confidence of knowing that as soon as we do get another option, we could swap over and not have to worry about whether or not we'll be able to carry over those skills. Likewise, I think he currently has all of his offensive reactions equipped, so it's not like we're going to unequip the ones he was just working on and throw something else on that we prefer long-term instead. Okay, let's double-check this area here. It looks awfully familiar. I think we might have technically had this blocked off, although this is, I believe, the first area in the Sandflow Caves. It seems like this spot right here might be the only section that we've not yet gone through. So let's take a look there. And then we'll head on through to perhaps somewhere other than the Sandflow Caves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. Okay, 3 Happy Johnnies this time, so look out. They will go next. As for how much damage they'll deal, it depends. Physical attacks, those are welcome. And Donovan, yeah, let's use a Flame. That gets rid of 1. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. I suppose now we have no reason not to use Fire Breath on Slinik, because that does mean that he's now going to be able to guarantee that he hits. Whereas before we were trying to use the physical attacks because we wanted to make sure that we were getting every possible opportunity to use those offensive reactions. Now that he's mastered them, no big deal. Mardek, you kind of only have one choice here, unless you were to use one of those potions that deals damage, but that's probably overkill at this stage, so give it a shot, and you do manage to hit. Well done. And Phoenix Downs, certainly welcome. And there's Clarity on Mardek, which was the Resist Confusion. And it feels like we put this on very recently, so I'm surprised that he's already mastered this, but okay, good to see. He's also fairly close to finishing Resist Water, but he's not there yet. Mardek is certainly the furthest along when it comes to mastering the various status immunities, so I'm wondering if he has much else to throw on in that regard. Or maybe he's getting to the point now where we'll start to throw on lower priority things like +1 strength. Let's see. Yeah, so I think we're actually fairly out of things to put on Mardek other than just +1 strength after a quick look. So let's opt to use that. And like I said, comparatively, relatively low priority, but we'll throw it on. He does still have 3 RP remaining, so we can throw on +1 agility as well. And that's largely what the use of those +1 attribute skills are going to be. It's just when you find that you have a little bit of RP to burn, then why not throw on one of those? Okay. Chests here. Definitely a new area, yes. These are the only 2 in here. Your elixir. Don't believe we've seen this yet, and it looks awfully dramatic. A potent potion with a silvery, reflective texture, like liquid mercury. Mercury is poisonous, so I'm not sure I want my potions to be like mercury. Drinking it gives the imbiber P shield and M shield status effects. Okay. So those shields that Mardek would normally be the only person able to apply, instead the drinker can get those. That's a quick way to get them both in one turn as well. And a kite shield. So we saw that there was a craftable item using a kite shield. Actually, I believe there were technically 2 of them. So it is, of course, a new type of shield with 3 defense, relative to just the 2 that Mardek currently has on his bronze shield, so it is better in that way. It's an iron shield fashioned in a kite shape for some reason. These are often used by knights. No special skills or anything of that sort, it is mostly just additional defense, and I believe Mardek has already learned the skills that you would get from this one, the 10 damage soak, which at this stage in the game, not terribly important. So, for the moment, we'll throw on the kite shield as is. However, if we happen to get more of these, then I think it will definitely be something that we would like to have for the purpose of turning into one of those crafted items. We'll take a closer look at the blacksmith to see what exactly those options might be once we're back in Xantusia. But at this stage, I'm fairly certain that we have now completed going through the Sandflow Caves, picking up all the loot. Nothing else to find here, so we can in fact go on into the next area. And as I was hinting before, we have technically found it, we just haven't quite gone through the door yet. But we'll do that this time. Okay, that is the lower damage and chance to poison one, so we'll take that. And that does mean that it seems as though Mardek will live to see another day, fortunately. As for Donovan, I think the best route is still to go flame here. And again, oh, Mardek actually, after having equipped that +1 agility, gives him 10. He's tied with Slinik. They both have 10. I actually don't remember how that tends to work when you have 2 people who are tied. Does it just so happen that Mardek will always go before Slinik here? It does seem like that's the case. I was curious if it was going to be that because they're tied, technically, Mardek will go first one time, and then the next go-round, they'll swap places as sort of like a way to even things out, but apparently not the case. Mardek is just always first. So, Mardek here, I mean, if you hit, great. If you don't, then we have Sharla and Slinik to clean up for you, but not necessary. Slinik can take out the last one then, and that is enough for him to level as well. So we might want to double check as to whether Slinik is now capable of using 1 more RP, which might be a difference maker in terms of which skills he can or cannot equip. And I suppose that's potentially something that's worth looking at on other people as well. He does have 12 now, which means we could opt to remove Dragon's Blood and instead put on something like +1 strength or +2 agility. I do think that Dragon's Blood is probably better than +1 agility or +1 strength. However, he is not yet mastered +1 agility. So I think for the sake of getting that done, let's throw that on here. And eventually, once this is done, we'll probably want to go back over to Dragon's Blood, or as soon as Slinik gets another RP available to him, which shouldn't be too long from now. I believe it's 4 levels. He will get Dragon's Blood back. And was there anything else skill-wise that we could squeeze on here? I don't think so. It's mostly the passives where he's most occupied. So, good thing we checked. And remind me which direction we are headed in. It is down here and then up to the right. Okay, another Temperance. Oh, and it is a fast one. So remember, these guys change based on which color is at the top. And in this case, it is the yellow, meaning it is Air Elemental, which also means it is a little bit faster than usual. So with that 20 agility, it does go first. And that means that Charlotte here, you might not be that useful using your Lightning Bolt because this guy heals to air. So, with that in mind, Charlotte, do you have anyone you could potentially heal? You could heal Donovan, say, or even yourself. You know, everyone's taking a little bit of damage. Let's go for a party-wide heal. Then for Donovan, now you can certainly attack because the Temperance should be weak to fire. That is typically the element that air is most weak to. And theoretically, physical or spells, either way, it's going to be roughly the same amount of damage, so take your pick. I suppose let's go physical this time around. Oh, except, what am I saying? We got rid of Soul Strike, so of course he's not going to deal fire damage there. That was silly. However, Fire Breath, we know that'll deal fire damage. And that does mean, after putting on that one additional agility on Slimnik, that he is now definitely faster than Mardek. So Mardek, you are now last once more. And that should mean that you're capable of taking this guy out here. Not an issue. Okay, nothing of note from the Temperance. And the way we're going to go is we're going to head through this door here. We saw it ever so briefly before. This time, we will go through. So, oh, actually. Huh. Okay, I guess we do actually need to double back and work around this way. Go through the other door. And the Blood Lizards, they are comparatively pretty weak. Part of me wonders, might it be worth it to deliberately take this opportunity to work on some magic or physical defensive reactions? You could make the case for that. It's been a little while since we've done that. We have recently mastered our offensive reactions in many cases, but I think for Slimnik, Slimnik does still need a defensive physical reaction. Donovan and Charla, possibly even Mardek, might need magic defensive reactions. That being said, if it's specifically magic, or at least predominantly magic that we're looking to do, might not make a ton of sense to use the Blood Lizards because they will alternate between physical and magical attacks, and we might be able to find enemies that use magic 90 to 100% of the time, in which case that's probably the way to go. So I think in that case, thought experiment, yes, but let's continue on this way and not worry too much about trying to work on those defensive reactions. It'll happen. We don't need to make a committed effort at this stage. Okay, so, as we were saying, we can attack here with Donovan. No spells necessary. Slimnik, take out this guy, if you please. And Mardek, I'm sure you can do so as well. And there you see, remember that we have the HP leech on both Mardek and Slimnik at this stage. And when they're dealing as much damage as that, it's significant enough that we won't need to do those party-wide heals with Charlotte nearly as often. Instead, she can do things like targeting a specific person, and remember, she heals more when that happens. So typically that will be preferable. So like Slimnik is full now. Mardek healed most of the damage that he had taken, is not quite full, but theoretically next time he attacks he'll be up to full now. So Charlotte could, instead, opt to use Healing Wind on just Donovan, and it would be more effective. However, not really necessary at this stage. Instead, let's opt to just attack this guy outright, and we will use a physical attack to not make this fire elemental. Likewise, Slimnik, you will use your attack rather than your spell. Ooh, and Mardek, just a little too slow, buddy. Temperance does beat you to the punch. However, Mardek does still get the final say. And as anticipated, he's back up to full HP. Okay, so let's head on up and around. And I'm wondering if you guys have given any more thought to who you suspect that we might be hearing from in those Dreamstones. We picked up a few at this stage. We will, of course, continue to pick up more. And we'll Lightning Bolt this guy. And then we will Flame this time around. Should take these both out. Lots and lots of gems for everyone. And, I mean, we're accumulating those frequently enough that we could certainly sell them. We, for the most part, probably only need one or two, and even if we do need some for crafting recipes, which may or may not be the case, I don't recall. As you can see here, they are common enough that, worst comes to worst, we could always come back and get a couple pretty quickly if we were just to do a little bit of farming. At that stage, farming might not even be the right word. Okay, so it's a good thing that Charla has leveled up recently, because otherwise she probably would have gone down to that hit, which is a little scary. But we'll take out the antlion, or at least get closer to it. Now, if the loop stars just don't target Charla, that would be fantastic. Thank you. That way we can make a point of taking people out before they get the chance to go again. Before they get the chance to take out Charla. Okay, antlion down. Mardek, you could heal. You probably should heal. Let's not get too clever here. Just in case. And Charla, technically, would be most efficient, I think, if you were to use your spells, but as we were saying before, you are using the new Poison Spear, so probably does make sense for you to take this opportunity to work on your physical attacks here. And it is enough damage to take them out. They do have a lot of air weakness, however, I still had my doubts. I suppose no physical or magic defense, so equal amount of damage there. It's just that Charla has much higher Spirit, 18, than she has Strength, 10. So I was assuming that the damage would still be a fair bit lower. As for Donovan here, shouldn't necessarily matter all that much. We'll go with the physical attack, I think. Almost enough to take this guy out. So Slinick, leech some HP here, please. And again, I mean, between 2 hits, should be basically enough to get him back up to full HP after he took roughly 100 damage. That's not bad, except, thing is, they have a save crystal right here, so no big deal. This is where we fought King Cuthbert, and then we went back round here, and when we were down here, we saw that there was an odd-looking structure of some sorts. You can just barely see it on the corner of the screen there. Okay, Donovan, same deal. You have slightly more HP than Charla. Possibly even better defenses because you're hanging on by a little bit more than Charla was last time round. It is tempting, after taking that hit, to go back to the save crystal and say, hold on just 1 second, could we heal back up? But I think we'll be fine here. We could just pop a quick heal with Mardek. And Mardek masters resist water. That is very big. He was working on that for a very long time. Way back in Chapter 2 is when he started that. Because it does take 50 turns. So, it is a really good chest plate. And we would like to get this on someone else almost immediately. We do have a second one to spare. Slinick is the only one who will be able to equip it, at least of our current party members, because it is technically a heavier chest plate. It's not a robe. So Slinick could equip this immediately if we wanted to. We wouldn't even need to take the one off of Mardek. However, I do think that Slinick is still working on this minus 20% damage. It's pretty fundamental that he get that, so it's probably still a good thing that we make that happen. But it is really tempting to put on the Trilobite armor instead. So I suppose that's just all the more reason to perhaps take a little bit of time to make a point of working on those reactions. I know previously we were saying, we'll find time for that later. It'll happen on its own, but now at this stage where we have a bit more of an opportunity cost, where every turn we aren't using these really powerful armors, that means it takes us a little bit longer to get those really powerful skills. But that's a bit of an aside. Let's just throw on that heal we were talking about earlier on Donovan. Gets him more or less up to full HP, and this is what I was referring to before. What the heck is that? Excuse me? Well, what place is this place? It seems to be some sort of odd steel castle or temple. We are unsure of its origins. It appeared in the Sandflow Caves but a few years ago, around the time of a bright skylight that came to meet the Earth, causing an earthquake. Some humans were found near this place after the Earth rumbled. Most are now in Santusia, but one of them, their chief, left a long time ago and have never returned. Interesting. I wonder what the purpose of this place is. Well, it's weird. It feels sort of familiar, somehow. I must be just imagining things. It seems like Hindven technology. But what's it doing here?
I imagine it's just one of many ships that got unfortunately dragged in by that peculiar gravitational current thing that made my ship crash here too. There's likely no significance to it.
I don't know about that. This is an awfully unusual place. Let's talk to some people here. Who should we talk to? Probably just about everyone. And it's been a little while, there's a chance that we'll get some more general updates from people.
I won't tell you what this place is because your tiny mind would not be able to understand, but it is most unusual to see it here as it is. It must not have been here long either. I can tell by its condition. We should keep a note of its location. It may become relevant in the future.
You have future plans for this place, Rohan? Okay. Donovan?
I must say, Sir Mardek, it's been a pleasure so far being on a mission with you.
You're just as skilled as the stories make you out to be. Thanks, Donovan. Well, you speak like you've never seen me much before, even though we trained as guards together. Indeed we did. But if you remember, Charlotte and I were not usually given combat roles like your own. I can't remember any time we actually fought together in real battles. I guess so, at least in the very brief time that we actually saw these two together in Chapter 2.
And though we started our training at the same time, you have far exceeded me in terms of skill and accomplishments.
You've saved the world, Mardek.
I'm proud to be with someone so heroic. Part of me wonders whether your success lies in the relative ease of being a warrior rather than a mage. Yet, you can cast magic, can't you? I still don't understand why. I had to study for many moons to acquire my magical skills, yet yours seem to just come to you.
Uh-oh, he's on to us.
Well, I suppose I'm just gifted.
Oh, Mardek.
You truly are. I envy your gift, Sir Mardek. But now, let us put it to use. You know, by carrying on with our quest.
That did seem like a more generic update. Let's see if Donovan has anything to say about this specific location.
I have absolutely no idea what to make of this place.
That's more like it. I'm with you, Donovan. Darla?
Hello, Mardek. Is there anything you want to talk to me about? I'm a good listener. Well, how are you doing, Charlotte? Oh, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. That's great. Oh, am I supposed to be saying something else? No, it's alright. As long as you're okay, it's fine.
Alright. That also seemed like a general check-in with Charla.
I don't have anything to say. Sorry.
I guess she doesn't have anything to say about this location, though. As for Slinik...
This temple fell from the skies years ago, when my father was chief.
I thought you just said moments ago that it only fell a couple years ago. Someone did, didn't they? I don't know, Slinik. Your story is even awfully inconsistent here. Suspicious.
There were humans in it. The ones who survived are in Xantuzia now. They say that they will leave again in the temple one day. We shall see.
Okay. And we could, perhaps, take a quick look at the map here and see that it appears as though there are many different doors for us to go through here. As for what we might find in here, I'm not quite sure, but I think either way, that is going to have to wait for the next episode. So I'll catch you guys next time, and we'll see what the heck this place is all about.